Hello, beautiful humans. All right, let's see if the video is going to go live. Check in, waiting for the live. And there we go. You are now live. Hi. So, hello, welcome. Bicknell, BlueWater Oracle, and I am here to bring us some intuitive wisdom, some intuitive guidance, some messages on this first day of April, and also on this new moon in Aries. So it felt like a good day. Often I come on Friday evenings, my time, but I thought I'd come on a little bit earlier. So for anybody who's wondering what time zone I'm in the Eastern Daylight Time. So it is 2:30 in the afternoon approximately, and I am based near Montreal in Quebec, Canada. If you don't know me, my name is Sheila Bicknell. I am BlueWater Oracle on all of my social media. My website is bluewateroracle.com. Excuse the really bright light outside. I didn't think it was so bright when I started, but obviously, even though it's cloudy here, it's very bright, so it gives this kind of halo thing from behind, which is fun. I'll take it. It's okay. And I'm doing some office cleanup here. Finally got one of my filing cabinets opened. Had to find a key for it, the missing key. The actual key is still missing, but I found another one. Yay! So I am able to put some things away finally. So everybody send me your clutter clearing good vibes as we enter this new month. And for us, spring season here. For those down under, of course, it is your autumnal season. But we're entering spring. And even though we're waiting for things to come up, nature knows, the birds are coming back, the plants are starting to come up through the ground, even the trees are starting to show themselves that, hey, they know it's springtime. So we are blessed and honored to be able to be in this season. And I wanted to pull some cards for us as we trek into April. So I don't think I'm going to do individual readings on this live on my Facebook page today, but I wanted to focus on insights for April, insights for the new moon. What is happening with you? So if you have any general questions for the world, for the season, something like that, not specifically individual for you, but general that could be of help, please post them, and I will do my best to do some general readings for everybody. Because even though, of course, individual readings are so vital and they are what I do when I read for clients, it's also good sometimes to have a general feel for the day, the month, the weekend. And let's do that today. I'm just going to say hi to some of the people on. Hi, Orly. Hi, Mary Ann. Hello, Mary. Sorry, I always say it wrong. Mary, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. So the hair is looking very fluffy today, but I'm happy, feeling a little wild on this April 1st day, this new moon, so allowing it to be completely au naturel. I've got my cards laid out, and I've been doing some sort of paperwork stuff earlier, so I'm happy to get into card energy here today, doing some home things as well. Blessed to have a good chat with a friend also. So let's get into some cards. So let's pull a card first for April, at least one, and see what kind of energy wants to come up. So think about yourself. What are you looking for this season ahead? If you saw here on my page earlier today, you would have seen that I shared the Feng Shui for the Om page's new moon in Aries tips. So Tanya Yankee does Feng Shui for the Om out of the United States, I believe. And I love her tips for certain events, for the moons particularly, are ones that I share. And I love them. So if you want to go back and down into the page after the video, and you can check out her tips. And one of them that she mentions is to create a vision board, that it's really a good time to do that because this is sort of a new beginning. So we had New Year, we had Chinese New Year, of course, related to Feng Shui, that applies. But this is spring season for us in the north. It is a new beginning with shifting into Aries with that sort of energy and this new moon. So this is a great time to welcome that. And I loved her insights as a reminder of that. Let me just see who else is popping in. Hi, Annie. Hello, Angelique. Hi, Melissa. Hope you're doing well, everybody. So let's pull a card for, so that was a post I did earlier today. So go back and check it out, or even better, go on her post, like it on my page, and then go onto her page and like it. So for anybody who doesn't know, for those of us who have small and big businesses on Facebook, our business pages only really get traction when we have a lot of likes and comments. It's the nature of anything, right? The more popular something becomes, the more it has interest, the more that the computer systems and the more people get to see. So I love that you, anytime that you press like or love, or that you comment or you care about something, and I really do appreciate it because it does make a difference. You might not see it, but I see it behind the scenes as to how many people see posts. And being somebody who is still growing their business, I'm really appreciative of all of your support, any support. I love it. And it just makes me feel good. And hopefully it makes you feel good as well that we get this time to touch base and chat and work together. Woohoo! So deep dive into communication. So we are communicating with our higher selves. We are communicating with the universe in terms of the energies. So whether you want to think about the energies as the divine, as God, goddess, as angels, as fairies, as the earth energy as well, to me they all come in as a method of us communicating and receiving communication to help us make decisions, to help us understand our journey, and to help us see the world not only in what we see with our two eyes, but in what is unseen but present that helps us. So let's get going. Mary is asking, what do your guides want us to focus on? What do guides want us to focus on? I love that. All right, so let's look at that as well. Hi, Andrea. Happy you're here. So we're going to start with April. So I'm going to pull a card for April. So I haven't done monthly cards for a little while, just sort of shifted gears. So happy to do a monthly card here live for us. Please let me know if the video and the audio are going okay. It looks okay my end. You might hear the whir of my computer a little bit. Apologies. He's an older system, my computer here, but he's keeping trucking, and so I try to keep my technology going as long as they are able to do it. So I am being called. I'm looking at all of my team here, all the different cards. I am being called to go to the Gateway Oracle cards for the April card or one of the April cards. We will see. And if you're able to, like this post, if you want to share it, if you want to invite anybody else to pop in and get to know me, I appreciate that. So, April guidance. So it's April 1st for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere. For some of you elsewhere, it might be shifting in, not only in the Northern Hemisphere, but also just in time zone. It is April 1st. Some people, of course, it's already April 2nd as they are shifting into their Saturday. Spring for us in the north, autumn for those in the south of this planet. So April energies. Here we go. So I get a pause. I get an insight to pause. So this is one of Denise Lynn's decks. I use a few of Denise Lynn's decks. I love them. We get looking deeper. All right. Looking deeper. So I love this for me, and I'll tell you why. So I've been working on some wording about what I do, ideas of how to explain something, and I came up with the idea of deep dive into communication. So look at this. Like, I literally wrote that last night, deep dive into communication, and this is what we get, looking deeper. So if anybody believes that readings, when you're working with cards or intuitive insights, can't have more than one layer, can't have more than one meaning, I would beg to differ. So I would suggest that you allow however many layers come up. And I've done workshops on this, the multiple layers that can come up as you work with reading oracle cards and tarot cards. So first layer for me came up really quickly, it's that. But then, of course, as the card says, let's look deeper. So here we've got a mountain scene with a gorgeous kind of diamond-shaped gemstone up in the sky. There's a comet or a shooting star off in the night sky. And down in the water of the valley, or below the mountains, if you like, are other gemstones, crystals. So it says, deep within me is a majestic radiance. So as we step into April, and into this new season, whether you're in spring or whether you're in autumn, as we step into Aries, all of this energy It is asking you to look deeper within you, to acknowledge that radiance that is present within you. So if you are having a phase where you're feeling like, oh, ho hum, not sure that, things are going well, or I'm frustrated, or I'm angry, I get it. The world, it can be quite chaotic. Life can be really, really difficult, really challenging for people. But this card for April is coming up to say, hey, let's look deeper. Look deeper at what is your own majestic radiance, but also look deeper at what is going on in your reactions, in your choices, in the way you think, in the way you feel, all of this. And we had a great example of that last week, right? Or the earlier in this week, where there was a particular reaction and anger that happened in the entertainment world. And I pulled a card on, I think it was on Monday, right? Later in the day on Monday, the King of Wands, that was saying, okay, sometimes we need to stand in our choices. We need to stand in our feelings and figure out what is behind them, what's going on. And this feels to me as if it's a continuation of that, but not from anger, but from a perspective of that majestic radiance that is deep within me, that is deep within you. So what is that majestic radiance that is blah, blah, that is within you? What is that majestic radiance? All right. And what is, sorry, I'm just adjusting my light here. Blinded by the light. A little bit, whoo, bright. So what is that majestic radiance that is within you? And what is it asking you to see, asking you to look at as you make the choices of your day-to-day life? The other part of this card is that we've got these gorgeous big mountains. So remind yourself daily, multiple times in the day, that you are going to do ups and downs, right? You're going to have moments where you're climbing, get to the top, woohoo, celebration, look at the view, find the vision, right? We mentioned vision boards earlier today as being a great idea for today's energy, brought up by Feng Shui for the Om, her Facebook page. And then there maybe it's an easy slide for a little while, an easy ride, a wave that shifts. Maybe it's oh my goodness, what is going on? I'm on the down slope of a roller coaster. And then, hey, I gotta climb, I gotta do some stuff. And then it repeats, right? So there are all of these, not because you're staying in the same place, but because you're on a journey, right? Some people look at it as a spiral. Some people will look at it as the ebb and flow. Some people will look at it as climbing and descending mountain paths, right? Passages, pathways. So remind yourself, whatever you're going through, that there are ups and downs of everything. Okay? Hi, Nancy. There are ups and downs of everything. So this, to me, for an April card is lovely because it brings us into that reminder of the deep majesty that is within us. So we can remind ourselves of that daily. It reminds us of the ups and downs of the journey. So that if we're expecting it all to be just up, 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 and there's no challenge, there's no things to work on, there's no frustrations, there's no sadness, there's no moments of disappointment, there's no seeking and reflecting and working on stuff for ourselves, this card is like, yeah, probably you want to look at it again, right? Look at the view again. Look at all of the gemstones that are in the view, right? Before people started mining, the gems were deep within the rock. We can find it. As a kid, did you collect rocks? Did you go somewhere and see? I remember on our property, we would have rocks and you'd look at them. I didn't know anything about rocks at that point. They were just rocks and I love them. I love stones, always have. I was a kid who collected stones, always. So did anybody here collect stones, right? When you're out and about, maybe you're on the beach, maybe you're out on a walk, maybe you're, hanging out with friends and you just find these stones. That was me all the time. I still have a bunch of them. Very heavy things to collect, but beautiful. So you'll be looking at this basic gray rock, and then there'll be, that white patch or that pink patch or that multiple different bubbles that are in it. They're not really bubbles, they're different forms of stones, right? So have you seen those things? Have you allowed yourself to notice that there's all these different layers, there's all these different components within that basic gray rock? The rock allowed it. The rock created it over time, the same as you have stuff that's been created over time. So sometimes you need to look deeper and remind yourself that, hey, there's glorious things up in the view, and there's also that radiance deep within. So depending on the day and depending on where you are in the climbing of the mountain, as you go through April, remind yourself, find those gemstones, find those bright moments, find that quality, find that richness, and allow yourself to really notice it and to really find it. Whether it's a view from climbing or whether it's a deep dive into something you need to work on for yourself, or whether it's the universe cracking open something and shows it to you and says, hey, you have a choice. How do you take this? What do you do with it? All right. Nancy's saying she loves rocks. Me too. I love stones. I love rocks. I love crystals. All of it. All right. So that is a looking deeper card for April. Okay. April energy. And it also has, as I said, it has like a shooting star in the background. So when we think of the vision board, vision book, intention journal, dream journal, whatever it is you're creating for yourself, think of that vision. What would I like the universe to bring to me? What would I like to see in the world? What would I like to see and experience in my own life? Put it out there as if you're putting out a shooting star into the universe. In my own group this week, so I have a membership group where I do readings every week. It's called the Oracle Cove. And in our weekly guidance this week, I pull a card and I write a reading for the week that we work on and we work with. It talks about sort of taking something and blowing it like you blow a kiss to someone. But that can be an intention, it can be a vision, it can be a dream, it can be something you're seeking or something you're wishing. But you don't want to hold on too tight, because if you hold on to it too tight, you can smother it, you can prevent other things from coming in. So if you think of it like a seed that you're blowing out, letting go of, you need to give it that freedom. Okay, so that's one of the ideas that came through on the weekly guidance. So interesting. Elaine says she still does that with her younger nieces and nephews. Beautiful. It's such a blessing just watching their faces as they discover their finds. Yes, treasure hunting, right? Treasure hunting when we find stones or we find crystals or anything, you know, an acorn, a funky leaf, a fantastic little critter, you know, something when we're out and about and we're discovering. And doing it with young people reminds the adults of that journey, of that lighting up, that sometimes adults lose that. So again, this is another point that can come up with this, that reminding to look at things, looking deeper, look at them, really see, and see where's the brightness, what is it offering, what is it bringing. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, so that's an April card. Love it. So now let's do, today is new moon. So we're doing general cards today. I wanted to come on and do some general cards for the new month, for the new moon. So let's do general card for this new moon coming into this weekend. So in our neck of the woods, it was new moon overnight. So I think it was 2 something in the morning, Eastern time. So we're in new moon energy, new moon in Aries. So it's the start of the sort of astrological new year, right? Astrological year starts with Aries, unless I'm completely mistaken. I believe it starts with Aries. So here we are, we're shifting into that, right? So let's look at, so take a deep breath, and we're going to go to the Earth Magic Oracle cards for a card pull about the new moon. So I love this card too, that we had the looking deeper as we start this month with a new moon. Because to me, the new moon is very deep, right? It's in darkness. We go dark moon, then we go new moon. So the dark moon is where we don't see the moon. The moon is always there, and we talked about that at our spring equinox event a couple weeks ago. The moon is always there, but sometimes we don't see it, but she's still there. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves of things. So for example, if we take this card as guidance, if you were climbing up, you may think there's no valleys, there's no view, it's just me and the rocks or me and the mountain. And then you'll get a glimpse. Then you'll see through the trees. Then you'll get to one level and you'll see a view. And then you'll climb to another level and you'll see a view. And you go over the top and down the other side. Oh, wow, look at that. Right? Everything is there, but you get a different perspective. You get a different view. So let's take our Earth Magic Oracle cards for this new moon energy. Maybe you need to dive into something for yourself. Maybe it's pulling something out of the dark to show you, or asking you to go into the dark a little bit to be aware of something, to investigate something for yourself. So let's have a look. Cave, Sanctuary. Oh, love this card. Haven't seen this card for a little while. So for anybody who doesn't remember, and I don't blame you if you don't want to remember, 2 years ago, in the end of March, we were, of course, in a very big world event with pandemic energies and countries trying to figure out what's going on. And if I'm not mistaken, our card for the month of March 2020 was Cave, Sanctuary. So here we are 2 years later. And yes, certain things have changed, certain things have stayed the same. And we are looking at sanctuary, but the energy here feels as though it's asking us to remember to bring sanctuary wherever we are. So as we have this new moon energy, it's asking you that, yeah, you may need to go into your cave a little bit, but what is in the cave? It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It doesn't mean it's a negative thing. It can be that in the cave you get rest, you get rejuvenation, maybe you get inspiration. He's drawing on the side of the cave here. Maybe you get creative inspiration, maybe you get nurturing and nourishing. So if you're going into the cave with this new moon energy, go into it from the sanctuary perspective. And maybe your cave, let me say it like this, maybe your sanctuary doesn't need to be a cave. Maybe your sanctuary, as you bring new moon energy into April, can be that you have some other ways to nurture yourself, ways to take care of yourself, ways to wrap yourself up into the amazingness of life and of the universe, even if you're going through challenging times. Right? What are the things you can observe? What are the things you can notice? So cave, sanctuary. From that sanctuary place, as the new moon comes in, then you can look out. Then you can step out. Then you can walk out into the world and bring the inspiration, the nourishing, bring the new moon energy as you create forward, as you build up forward, as you welcome the light from perhaps stepping out of a darker place. So maybe you need to light a candle, safely of course, to represent the fire, like the campfire here. Maybe you need to find your own fire to warm you from within and to light up that next step. Okay? Maybe it's the sun, as the sun is rising. Each day, maybe you need to feel some of the sun's rays and remind yourself that, oh, look at this, feel this light, feel the power, and let me bring that into me. All right? So that's new moon energy, cave, sanctuary. So you can work with that in whatever way. So let me know, for those of you who are on here live, how does new moon, this new moon, and cave, sanctuary, how does it resonate with you? What does it speak to you? Is there something about sanctuary that it is inviting you to bring into your life, or to resonate with, or to work with, maybe to dive into, that perhaps you haven't been? Okay? Because a cave, we can think about it as a negative way, right? Sometimes people will think, oh, I'm in a cave, I'm stuck. But if you think about it from the sanctuary point of view, it is safety, it is security, it is a place to regenerate, a place to rest, a place to get into that next point. To be able to look out and go, oh, what am I doing next? How am I going to do it? Do I need to carry a light? Do I need to be my own light? So play with that. Let that work on you this weekend as you would like and as you need to. One of the people on today, Mary said, what do our guides want us to focus on? I love that. So let's have a look. So as we look at April, we look at new astrology year, we look at the new moon also. And we know that there's a lot going on in the world, for sure, for sure. So let's have a look. What does the world, what do our guides want us to focus on? Let's do a couple of readings on that. So the first two cards, of course, they come from divine energy. They come from our guidance systems. Somebody just let me know if the video is still working okay, if the video and the audio, because I know sometimes it gets a little funky. And on my end, it looks great, but I don't know if you can still hear or see me. So hopefully you can. Let me know. So we're going to go to the Gilded Tarot for what do our guides want us to know or to work on or to be aware of as we step forward into this new month and into this new cycle of the moon. So shuffling, this is the Gilded Tarot by Ciro Marchetti. Okay. So we get the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so she's a gorgeous queen. All right, queen standing next to her strong pillar. Right. Thank you, Andrea. So she says everything's okay with video, audio. It's great. So here we got the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, she is standing next to that strong golden pillar that has growth. It has the pentacles on it. They're jeweled, bejeweled. It has the richness of the peacock and the colors of wealth, of abundance, right? That purple, the blue, the green, and the gold, all of this coming with this deck specifically, plus that pentacle energy of the earthy energy. So if we think about our guides and we think about anybody here who is working on things for themselves, this feels like it's saying, hey, let's rise up some of this beautiful queen energy. But let's rise it up with the way of the Mother Earth energy. So that means there has to be some balance with the pentacles. There has to be that balance. So it's not all queen, take over everything. Where is the balance? Where is that requirement to come in? The fact that on this card also for today, it has this male peacock. So it is not a female peacock. It has the male peacock. So that reinforces to me today as I read this card that we've got that balance between male and female. Okay, so as you are looking to what do I need to think? What are the guides bringing us? Balance, really important. Bring in balance for yourself, bring in balance for the world, balance for others. Know that within you, you have divine feminine and you have divine masculine. If you have people working on things for themselves, this card would suggest to me that as they work on their balance, remind them of their divine nature. And what does that mean? To me, it means to the highest good. Trying, exploring, learning, listening, being there for others, sharing. We don't have to be perfect. None of us are perfect. But we can all be aware and to try and to work on things for ourselves because we are not really isolated. Okay? The queen is not a queen if she is alone. She can think she's a queen. She can feel like she's a queen. That's fabulous. But the true queen is a queen when she is a queen with others because her power, her reliability, her loyalty, her capacity to balance and delegate things is going to come in, and that's how it presents with this card. Okay, so that pentacle is bringing that earth energy, bringing that, I would say in the context of what our guides want us to know, the Mother Earth energy. All right, and that's something I connect with a lot. The environment, how we are respecting or not respecting our wild spaces, our wild world. So for sure it's going to be a point that I will bring into something. But with this card, it feels pretty evident. The Pentacles can also bring that safety and security, a little bit like what we had with the Sanctuary card, but it's bringing in from that strong energy. So remember our April card here, we got these gemstones, we got our crystals, our gems, as if you had discovered missing treasure, right? But then when we bring in her, she's saying, okay, is the treasure really missing? Or is it just that you need to look deeper and to recognize it and to step into it in whatever way it works for you, but always with balance. Okay? Elaine is sharing some great stuff about her home being sanctuary. I love it. I love it. Good for you, Elaine. Okay, so that's one card. So I'm going to do another card from guidance. Overall, what do we need to know? What can be helpful for us? So in the idea of balance, I'm going to go to my other tarot deck, because I now have two tarots that I work with quite a lot. This is the Robin Wood, and this tarot has become a balance point to the other tarot, which is fascinating. I love it. I love how these things that you never expect, and then they come up. And also, the last two times I picked it up, even though I've shuffled, I've had the Magician underneath. So we love the Magician. Woohoo! Karen saying the video is fine today. I'm so happy about that, Karen. Thank you for letting me know. And I'd love to know where you guys are from. I do recognize names, but I don't always remember where you are located. So for anybody who is not recognizing me, my name is Sheila Bicknell. I'm BlueWater Oracle on all of my social media, as well as my website, BlueWaterOracle.com. I'm an intuitive, I'm a card reader, I'm an oracle. I connect with divine essence. I connect with higher selves so that we can bring messages to help us make decisions, right? To help you make decisions and to understand this wacky, slightly wild journey that we're all on, right? So I'd love to know where you're from. Remind me where you're from. I'm based just outside of Montreal in Quebec, Canada, where it is just after 3 o'clock on Friday, April 1st. No, this is not a joke. This is real. Some people would think it's a joke, but it's not. It's real. Elaine is just 1 hour south of Ottawa, so she's quite close to me, which is wonderful as we head into springtime. All right, I'm going to shuffle this deck. It's a very loud deck to shuffle, which makes me laugh. So what else do our guides want to say? What else does the energies want to say to us? Things to know about, things to be aware of. Okay. And if you're watching later on, if you're watching on replay when I'm no longer live, it will say it on the screen, BlueWater Oracle was live. But please feel welcome to comment, chat. Let me know if the cards resonate. I'd love to hear when cards resonate or not with you, or what comes up, right? You have your own intuitive essence, your own intuitive understanding, your awareness, your knowing. So bring that in as well. Annie is also in Montreal. Nancy is in Haley, Ontario. I'm not sure where Haley is, so I'll have to look that up. But also not too far away. Some local people on today. I know when we do it later in the day, sometimes we get some people from down under, of course, Australia and New Zealand, but they are hopefully either just starting their day, depending on where they are, or maybe still snoozing. So here then we get the 11, we get the Justice card. So this deck and my other Gilded Tarot have really different takes on. There are certain themes that of course stay the same across all tarot. But I, being the way that I work with cards, I use the imagery as well, because it is a reason why I use multiple decks, because they express themselves in different ways. So if you can imagine our highest guidance, the spiritual guidance, whatever you want to call it, that it could look at a deck and say, okay, this deck is going to connect with what this person needs. This deck is going to connect with what this group needs to hear, so they can help in the communication. It's like different languages. It helps in the communication. So here we get justice. And this is a number 11 card. So we get that real sacredness of the 11, sacred number coming forward. And here she is with her swords, right? She's got a sword up, and she's got, does she have a sword down, or is she holding the scales of justice? To me, it looks a little bit like both. Like she has a sword, but it's also got the scales of justice. It's an illusion in the picture, right? So remind yourself of the balance of all things. As you wield anything, remind yourself of the consequence of the choices. Every choice that we make has an impact to ourselves and to others. All right? Now, you also want to be really careful. Are you the one who decides justice for another? So as we step into April, as we're in this new moon, it's bringing up some really big energy around the world. It's bringing up big energy for those of us here. So this justice card feels to me as if she wants to bring up that reminder that just take a pause before you bring out justice. Weigh the options. And in this case, I feel like justice can be anything. It can be words we use. It can be actions we take. It could be actually deciding something for somebody else or for ourselves that could affect other people. So anything that we're bringing about, remind yourself to be aware of it. It doesn't have to be, multiple days of decision making, although it could be. But it could just be that awareness to be like, okay, what am I about to say? How would this impact me if somebody said it to me or others? So it's that balance of understanding our choices, of recognizing how we affect the world around us. But she's also got these big pillars behind her. She's got this gorgeous scenery behind her as well. And she's got the victory sort of laurels on her head. So there is greatness that can come out of all these decisions. But allow yourself to see the ups, the downs, the pros, the cons, weigh up things. But be careful when you put judgment onto somebody else. So does justice come for you? Is it an aspect of what you work with when you judge something? Do you then bring about justice? Do you want to bring about justice? Important to recognize. Does it come from a place of, all right, I've looked at different options. I've looked at different choices. I have done Queen energy and had to make decisions, had to delegate. So has there been a little bit of weighing up, or is it, like what we saw earlier in the week, reactions? And if it's reactions, you got to recognize there's going to be consequences, and then you got to recognize where is it coming from? What is deeper? Right? We got Mary coming in from Phoenix, Arizona, just after noon where she is. And Karen is also in Ottawa. So got some local peeps. Yay! And some people from the US, which is fabulous. So how did those cards come for you? So I love the fact that the justice comes in as a real strong point about that balance that we talked about. Right? We talked about balance. So reminding us of it because there is consequence. There are just judgments that are made when we dole out justice, and that your justice and somebody else's justice may not seem the same. So we have to be responsible. We have to recognize that how we do this, whether it is a sword, as in this picture, or whether it is justice that gets weighed up on the scales of justice and then is given. Is it our words? Is it our actions? Is it how we think in the world? How we feel in the world? We can go into that going deeper card, right? So is there stuff within us that is saying, hey, we need to address this. We need to look at this for our journey. Is it in the sanctuary card for this new moon today? saying, yes, you might have cave moments, or you might need to go into your cave for your sanctuary. But then also you want to bring something from the cave out with you. Is it a candle? Is it the fire for passion or for light? Is it that sense of safety and security? Is it that feeling nourished within? So when you step out, you're not lacking in seeking and distributing justice when maybe it isn't needed. Elaine's adding, always think twice before speaking and doing. Treat others as we want to be treated. Very basic, really important messages. And I think a lot of people forget. We forget these things, right? We're human. We forget them. But I think they're fantastic reminders, right? Think twice before speaking and doing. Just reflect on something a little bit. It doesn't take that long. Treat others as we want to be treated. And I was going to put a post up. I might still do it if I have a bit of time this afternoon. I watched today, for anybody who has Netflix in our area, it's the last day to watch a movie called The Freedom Writers. Freedom Writers. So it's based on a true story, and it takes place in a high school. And I think it's an inspirational and powerful story because it reminds us of racial challenges. It reminds us of privilege challenges. It reminds us of the extremes of those because it discusses the Holocaust from World War II. It discusses bravery in all different formats, friendship, communication, working on our own stuff, being supported, having a place of sanctuary. And I was going to share one of the quotes from one of the characters. Actually, I probably have it on my phone. Let me just pull it up. I was going to put it into a post, but it feels appropriate to share now. So this is from the character in the movie, and I'm going to say her name wrong, I'm sure, Miep Gies. And she was the one of the people who kept Anne Frank and Anne Frank's family in safety, kept them hidden during part of the war. So we don't know if she actually said this the person, but the character in the movie, the actress playing her, says this. I did what I had to do because it was the right thing to do. That is all. We are all ordinary people, but even an ordinary secretary or a housewife or a teenager can, within their own small ways, turn on a small light in a dark room. And I thought that was really powerful. Yes, I believe it's called Freedom Writers. It is on Netflix right now, but I think today's the last day to watch it. So I watched it again last night and finished it this morning over breakfast because I've seen it before and I thought it was really good. But that's on Netflix. You might be able to get it somewhere else. You'll recognize some of the actors, the main actors in it. To me, it's a really good story. It's not always easy. Because it deals with real stuff, but it's based on a true story, and then it has other true story components in it. And I thought that quote was just very powerful. But I think, isn't that amazing? This is how readings work. This is how the unseen energies work. That I'm working on something from earlier in the week, then I watch a program, then I get a quote, then we look at cards, and it all comes together. You bring your energy, I bring my energy, and the energies of the unseen, the support system, comes in, and it plays a part all together. So if you are feeling anywhere within you that you are alone, that you are not supported, it is not the case. You are supported by unseen forces and faith and divine and divinity and spirituality and however you want to look at it. Angels, fairies, dragons, gods, goddesses, the God, the all. However you want to look at it. Sometimes it doesn't show up exactly as we would hope because it's part of a really big picture. Elaine's saying she's going to watch it later. You're welcome. That's why I thought I would post it because I wanted other people to watch it. But I ran out a bit of time. So hopefully I'll put it up now. Andrea is saying all the cards today tie up together for me. Oh, I love that. Sparkly, yay! Yay! Super happy. I love sounding cheesy. I think it's great. It's beautiful, and I'm honored and privileged. So I'm glad that you could make it on today. So let's pull one more card for all of this energy, right? We've got our April with the looking deeper card. Let's review. So April looking deeper. Okay. Deep within me is a majestic radiance. You can go back on the video if you want to see all of the context, all of the different messages that come through. Then new moon energy today. New moon in Aries, cave, sanctuary. But not the kind of, oh, I'm going into my cave and I'm hiding and it's black and it's gloomy. No, no, no. This is a cave that says, whoa, my sanctuary. What's in it? What do I need? Maybe I need to set that fire and bring that light out with me when I go out into the world. So what do you need there? Then one of the people attending, I apologize, I forgot who it was. I think it was Mary, said, okay, what do our guides want us to know in this phase? So we got the Queen of Pentacles. And then balance, justice. Okay, number 11. So you can go back and have a look at those different cards and their messages. The reading stays up on my page. This video, you just go back and it will be under live videos or in my timeline. You'll see it under BlueWater Oracle. So, new month, new moon. We're going to go with Native Spirit for the next ones. Big day also in the indigenous peoples of North America. In case you've seen it in the news or maybe you haven't seen it, with an apology coming from the Pope currently. Very important in history, in healing, truth and reconciliation. Really important times. So also when you think of, do you realize the cards? Queen, Justice. Super interesting. Super interesting. Okay. So, Native Spirit, another card for today. Spirit Keeper of the South. Take that deep breath. Bring in all of that sunshine. Bring in all of that blooming, all of that blossoming. Bring in that mothering, that real mothering energy to allow whatever you want to give birth to, whatever you want to grow within you, for others, for the world. Allow it to really start to take root. Okay? So think of the seeds. Think of that vision. What are you envisioning for your next month, for your next few months? All right? Shed the light. Allow the light on it. So if you feel like you're in a dark forest, or if you think you're in a desert, or somewhere that feels sort of gloomy and barren, imagine, visualize that you are planting seeds of things. Visualize the sunlight coming through to brighten up. Visualize in the night that the stars are working, the light there. The fireflies are bringing light. The moon is gradually increasing the light with the reflection of the sun. So allow it to expand for you. Okay? And recognize that even the directions have energies that work with them. So again, if you feel as if you are alone, this to me is another reminder that, yeah, we're not really alone. Just some of the stuff we can't see. Hopefully you have people around you who do see you, right? Who you can see them in return. Maybe you need to bring a light, right? Like the quote says, we can all bring a little light into a dark area. Not because a dark area is bad, but because we work with light. We need that balance. Right? And then allow the light to expand. In a great conversation I had with somebody recently, we were talking about how sometimes people don't even want to have the good things. They don't know what to do with the good things. So they're always looking for the not so good things, or the harder things, a tougher road. So we've got this looking deeper, right? Majestic. Deep within me is a majestic radiance. So this is something to work on accepting, that treasure within, that shiny, sparkly rock within, that gemstone, right? That inner radiance. And accept it. Recognize it. Let it shine. It is going to be in balance because you're being aware with the Justice card of what you're saying and what you're doing. And remember that the Justice has got this 11, this super, super sacred number. Spirit Keeper of the South, I'm just looking. One of my decks wants, oh, dragons. Of course, we're going to finish with the dragon. This is a Dragon Oracle card by Diana Cooper. I love dragon energy. I love all the energy, the angels, the fairies, the unicorns, the guides, the spirit guides, the unseen forces, the divine of all different types. The humans as well, right? We love the humans. Isn't that something? Isn't that just a real simple message in itself? To love the humans. Not always easy. We're a bit of a wacky bunch. But we can work on it. And then speaking about histories of humans, Golden Atlantean Dragon. Look at this. Whoops, my Siri is talking. All right, Golden Atlantean Dragon. Helps you remember the wisdom of Golden Atlantis. So we talk about the New Age, right? There's a lot of talk about Atlantis as being a previous age, important. Awaken. Bring back your knowledge, gifts, and talents. Reclaim your mastery. Majestic radiance. Reclaim your mastery. So if you had a golden dragon from Atlantis, what would it bring forward in your life, in your journey, as you make choices? What would it bring forward as you are looking at sacred in all different ways? And look with the pillars, right? We've got pillars in the background. Different color, but we've got pillars in the background. So we know that there is this structure, this history that is present. But it's also inviting us to not get stuck in that, not get stuck in what we have currently created, and yet but rather allow old stuff to mix with new stuff in balance, in beautiful brightness. Look, bright crystals, bright crystals. Okay, allow in the light. Okay, so I am going to leave it there for today. Have a heart of gold. I love that. Have a heart of gold. Elaine, you're doing well. You're on fire, as they would say, in a beautiful way. So I thank you all. Anybody who tuned in now or on replay, my name is Sheila. I am BlueWater Oracle. And it is my honor and my privilege to do some general readings for you today. Looking forward to doing individual readings at another time. If I can be of support, if I can be your point of communication with your own intuition, with your highest self, with the unseen forces that work for us, for decisions and support and nourishment and better understanding, please reach out. It was my honor and my privilege to work with my clients. The cards fascinate me. The journey fascinates me all the time. The challenges as well as the easy, beautiful flow. So, and if you'd like to join my Oracle Cove membership group where we do readings every week, please reach out and it'd be my pleasure to give you more information. I would love to have you and see you in the Cove. Wishing you well. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Celebrate this new moon and all that this new month is bringing. Until next time, have a great day. Yes, it is amazing. Thank you. You're welcome, you guys. You're very welcome. Mary, it is amazing how all the cards link together. Absolutely. They have wisdom, and I'm glad that we were here to share it together. Until next time, wishing you well. Ciao.